The captain accused in the Mediterranean migrant tragedy made a court appearance in Italy this morning. He faces homicide and human trafficking charges. 800 people may have drowned. The Italian Coast Guard brought dozens more rescued migrants ashore. Clarissa Ward, on assignment for Sunday's 60 Minutes, had extraordinary access to survivors and their saviors.
On the rescue we witnessed, some of the migrants were refugees from Syria's brutal civil war, but most were fleeing the harsh dictatorship in the North African country of Eritrea. We talked to Mulu Amale and his friends, who told us they spent weeks living on bread and cheese under the control of armed Libyan smugglers.
All the Libyans, they have guns.
By the time they saw how small the boat was, they were too scared of the smugglers to back out. Were you afraid?
Yeah, we are afraid. I am a human being. Why not? I am afraid, just like human being.
The Italian Coast Guard has now started to dread good weather. A flat blue sea can spell disaster, triggering a flood of refugees to attempt the crossing at once.
We have never seen something like this.
Captain Leopoldo Mana is the man who receives those desperate satellite phone calls from migrants abandoned by smugglers at sea. His Coast Guard command center in Rome works around the clock, knowing that if their boats don't take action, the migrants will likely die.
It's difficult to explain that sometimes we have 25 boats asking for rescue. We don't know exactly where they are, and they all ask to be rescued.
And you can't rescue all of them.
It's not possible to rescue 25 altogether, and you don't know where they are.
Do they understand the risks?
I believe that they understand the risk.
But it doesn't stop them.
I believe that they are so desperate that nothing will stop them.
So it's like these smugglers are putting a gun to your head, though.
I confirm. Something like that, as they put a gun in front of us to save these people, almost something like that.
Boy, Clarissa, it's heartbreaking to watch that. Clarissa Ward, by the way, is joining us at the table. Good to see you. How big is the problem? We keep hearing extraordinary numbers, 700, 800 people. How big is this problem?
Well, there's been so much focus on this one tragedy that I think people forget this is much bigger even than just this one tragedy. Already, in the first 4 months of this year, an estimated 2,000 people have died trying to make this crossing across the Mediterranean, leaving their homes with the hopes of a better future in Europe.
Are they aware of the risk?
What's so shocking, Charlie, is that they do seem to be aware of the risk, but they don't seem to be deterred by it. We interviewed a Syrian family in Turkey who were hoping to cross to Italy, who ultimately went to Greece. And I said to them, are you not concerned as a father to make this choice to take your family on this boat? And he said, listen, there's a chance we could die on the way to Europe, but staying in Syria means certain death.
And in many cases, these families and their extended family are paying for this whole trip.
And they're paying a lot of money. It's very expensive. These are not the most desperate of the desperate. These are actually people who are relatively well off. The Eritreans who were on the boat with the rescue that we witnessed, they were paying about $1,500 each to get on those boats, which is a huge sum of money for them.
And they make the assumption that if, in fact, something goes wrong, that the authorities will pick them up and somehow come to the rescue.
Well, they're not even waiting for things to go wrong. What they do is they go out into international waters, sometimes just 30, 40 miles off the coast of Libya, and then they call the Coast Guard for an SOS and say, pick us up, please.
Clarissa Ward, looking forward to it. Thank you so much.